name is Sashah Handal and I'm a fitness instructor in New York City. This is Good Moves with Well+Good. Today I'm going to be taking you through a full body workout utilizing just a resistance band. We'll target the lower body, we'll hit the upper body, and then we'll do some combination moves so that you can hit both at the same time. Let's get started. Okay, so your first move is going to be a squat, and we're going to add a bit of resistance to this squat by stepping into your band, crossing the handles, and then bringing them right up to your hip. So you're going to squat down, and then you're going to feel the resistance actually at the top of the squat, and you're going to feel the work in the shoulders also start to take place just by simply keeping the handles in place at your hips. All right, so let's dig into this squat. Drop your butt down to knee height, push the knees out and keep tension through the heels. Drive up and squeeze your glutes and your abs towards one another. Now we can start to move through this with a little bit of speed, so long as you keep your form intact and control throughout the entire movement. Good. Now this will be a seamless transition from lower body to upper body, as we're going to keep the band in the exact same place underneath our feet and in our hands. Good. We've got time for a couple more. Big squeeze at the top. Amazing. Chest high, abs braced all the way to the end. 3, 2, and 1. Amazing. As I said, quick and seamless transition. We keep the bands right in front of your hips and we keep them directly underneath your heels, and this time we'll just drive up for a high pull. You've seen this movement done in our chest and back segment, so you should be very familiar and a professional by this point. We'll get started in 3, 2, and 1. Drive the elbows up and back, control the release. Now again, because you've done this movement, I want you to find a little bit more confidence with your pace. So we dive up with power, and then we drop down with control. Good. Soft bend in the knees, strong brace in the abs. Good. I'm already feeling it. Now we've got about 15 seconds before we put our 2 moves together for a combination of a squat and a high pull. Great. Last 3, 2, and 1. Cool. So just to give you a quick demo of how fluid we want the movement to look like, we'll bring this here, drop down into 2 squats, release, and then drive up into 2 high pulls. And then you'll just continue that combination until your 45 seconds is up. Okay? Shake out the shoulders, roll them back, tuck the tailbone under, position yourself for power, and we'll get going in 3, 2, 1. 2 squats. Knees out, butt down, abs braced. Oh, that was 3, sorry. 2 squats, knees out, abs braced, 2 high pulls. Seamless transitions here. Good. Now you can even drive directly into that first high pull, following that second squat, utilizing the 45 seconds that you have to maximize every single part of this movement. Woo! Last one. Done. Good job. So we're gonna hit a little bit of a unilateral round here, and that just means we're gonna target one side of the body. So for this, we're gonna target the left lower body, and then we'll follow up with the right upper body. So we'll fold the band in half, place the loop directly underneath your left foot, and we're gonna hit a kickstand. So take all the weight off of your right foot, place all the weight into your left foot, and we're gonna hit a kickstand deadlift. Pulling up, squeezing tight, hinging back and down. Now, I'm gonna creep a little bit closer to my foot just to add a bit more resistance so I can really feel this in my glutes and my hamstrings. Good. Now I've got my opposite arm out here for counterbalancing. This just helps me stabilize a little bit. Good. And if you're feeling really good about this movement, feel free to lift up the back leg as you come down into your deadlift. But that's just an option. Last two. Last one. Great. All right, so from here, we're actually going to reposition the hands and take them to the handles. So we're going to go for a balance curl in which we balance on just the left leg and curl on just the right. So I'm going to reposition my hands and grab hold of just one handle. You'll see why in a second. I'm gonna balance on my left leg and I'm going to bicep curl with just my right, which is why I drop down to one handle only to provide myself enough leverage to work just the right arm. Let's get started. Leg up, abs braced, foot flexed, and then you just bring that bicep curl to the inside of your chest and shoulder. Full extension and full flexion. Good. Breathing through the movement. Now, there's a lot happening here. You're balancing, you're pulling, you're breathing, and it all needs to happen in sync with one another. So find a focal point directly in front of you, preferably one that is not moving, and keep focus on that. Good, one more curl. And time. Okay, and now we're gonna put the two together. To make sure I have enough leverage for the deadlift, but also enough strength for the balance curl, I'm gonna find a placement on the band that's somewhere in the middle. So I'm gonna hold on just below the handle, putting between my middle finger and my pointer finger, so that allows for a bit of leverage on the way down for the deadlift, but then also enough strength for me to come up into my balance curl. All right, let's take them together. 2 deadlifts, leg up, 2 hammer curls. So we're working counter parts of the body here, and we're working them in conjunction with one another for a full body burn. And again, if you're feeling like this is not enough for your lower body, all you need to do is just choke down a little bit lower on your resistance band. Good. Last set of curls. And you're done. So now, we're just gonna do everything you just saw on the opposite sides. So since we're going back to just the lower body portion, I'm going to double up on my bands and actually hold a little bit closer to my foot because I know that my lower body can take that type of resistance. Kickstand your back leg, tuck your tailbone, squeeze your abs, and we'll get started. Good. So we've got a nice hinge in the hip as we pull them back. And we have a soft bend in your front leg so that you can really dig deep into that hamstring. And again, if you're feeling really spiffy in this move, all you have to do is press down through your heel and allow that back leg to float up, and you get a bit more instability and a lot more of a challenging move here. I would recommend doing this only when you feel super confident with your deadlift form. Good. Less than 10 seconds. Slow on the way down, controlled on the way up. Good. Last one. Amazing. All right, so we're dropping one of those handles. And then we're gonna return to our balance lunge, but this time it's on the left arm. So bringing that left leg up, flexing the foot so that your lower abs become engaged, and then we just curl that arm right up to the shoulder, and we're here for about 45 seconds. Take a deep breath, shake it out. 3, 2, and 1. Again, remembering to brace the abs because they are a huge part of stabilizing the rest of your body. Now, what I want you to think about is firmly pressing through the right heel and really rooting yourself down into the ground. If at any point you have to reposition your band because you feel like it's lifting your foot off the ground, then you should do that. Good. We've got about 10 seconds here, and we're gonna stay strong all the way through our set. Last 3, 2, and 1. So, my band felt like it was a little bit too far towards the ball of my foot. I'm just gonna move it a little bit further back. And again, now we're doing this combination of movements, so we find the resistance that will be useful for both my lower body and my upper body for 45 seconds. Okay, here we go. All right. Kickstand the leg, roll the shoulder blades back. You're on in 3, 2, and 1. So 2 staggered deadlifts, and then 2 balance curls. Woo! My left arm is not as strong as my right arm. 2 deadlifts, strong abs, strong arms, and engaged breathing here. So good. We've got just under 10 seconds, or enough time for one more combo. Three, 2, and 1. Woo! So our next motion will be a backward stepping lunge, and to make that just a little bit harder, we'll fold your band in half like so, take the loop side, and place it directly underneath your left foot. Now, how much tension you need will be dictated by how much resistance you want in this lunge. So I'm gonna pull a little bit more length on the handled side, just so that I can manage my lunge with good form. You step back, you step in, and you pull resistance on that band on the way in. Good. And if you're looking for more resistance, there's a way to do so without actually having to reposition the band. You just reposition your hand. Pulling a little bit lower on the band itself and providing a bit more resistance for that left leg in your lunge. Good. I love these. Now, as you step back, you want to make sure that your front knee does not pass your front toe, and you're looking for a 90-degree bend in both of your legs. Great, let's go for one more. Good. Okay, so from here, it's gonna get a little spicy. Isometric holds are one of my favorite ways to really test your muscular endurance. We're gonna hold your isometric lunge, rack your resistance band right on top of your shoulder, keep the elbow tight to the body, and exhale as you press it up overhead. Good. So what's imperative here is that you keep a super tight core. If your core goes on vacation, then your lower back starts to take over, and that's not what we're looking for here. And if the isometric hold ever gets to be a bit much to handle, pun intended, then you just stand up and you can hit your overhead press from the standing position, but know that the resistance band then becomes a lot heavier because you've got a lot less leverage to work with. Good. Big exhale at the top. 3, 2, and 1. Woo! My leg, my shoulders, my abs, you get it all in one move. All right, so now that you've seen the two movements separated, we're gonna put them together for the ultimate burn. I'm gonna hold on to just one of the bands because I am targeting both lower and upper body, and I wanna make sure that I can maintain fluidity throughout both of the movements. So we'll go into our back stepping lunge from here. We'll hold the second one, and then we'll go for 2 overhead presses at the bottom. 2 lunges, hold the second, 2 presses. Amazing. You don't need to rush this movement. What you need to do is find the most powerful position for your body and then execute the movements from there so that you're not flubbing around and wasting your time. Now these overhead presses are gonna get a bit heavy towards the end, and I just wanna remind you to partner with your breath. It only works if you do. Last one. And done. Woo. Okay, all that's left is to do that entire sequence on the opposite sides. Fold your band in half. This time, right foot goes over that band. Give yourself enough tension so that you can execute your back lunges perfectly. And we'll move in 3, 2, 1. Step back. Again, front knee stays behind the front toes. Hips are pulled back, abs are pulled in, 90-degree angles in both of your legs. Good. Keep your chest lifted and your head held high. You want a really tall and long upper body so that you remember to fully brace your core at the top of this movement. Good. We've got time for 2 more. 3, 2, and last one. Okay, so remember, your success is always gonna be dictated by how much resistance is on this band. You want it to be challenging, but not impossible. So, pride is not something that should be of concern here. Should be doable, okay? So we're gonna hold our isometric lunge, rack the resistance band on top of our left shoulder, and then press away. Now you wanna exhale as you get to the top, allowing your knuckles to reach for the sky. Remember your modification, step in, press up, and then return to your lunge, only if needed. Amazing. It's getting heavy for me too, don't worry. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good news. The last thing is to put those 2 moves together. Your full body will have gotten an incredible workout utilizing just your resistance band. Step back into your lunge. Hold your lunge. 2 overhead presses. And if you want to make the lunge a little bit more challenging, you can just keep the rack of the resistance band right up at your shoulder, and that will allow for a seamless transition into that overhead press, and it provides more resistance for your lunge as you step back. But it's totally up to you. Amazing. We've got time for 3, 2, and 1. Woo! That's it. If you like this workout, you can find more by subscribing to Well+Good. I'm Sashah Handal, and this is Good Moves. See you next time.